Oi, alright, how's it going? I'm Grant, you're you. This is Doodle Review. We review new music every day. Today we're talking about the latest from Black Pumas, the Chronicles of a Diamond. Now, Black Pumas are a soul band formed in Austin, Texas, which is where the primary members of the band met. Singer-songwriter Eric Burton packed up from his success as a street performer in California toward the end of the 2010s and headed to Texas for new opportunities, where shortly thereafter he met producer and multi-instrumentalist Adrian Quesada. Up until that point, Quesada had been a member of the Latin funk band Grupo Fantasma, a 9-piece orchestra who were well known for their regular shows that they'd host in Austin. These shows became such a thing, it put them on the radar of many a huge artist, one of which being Prince, who would eventually invite them to back him at several shows, particularly around his musicology era, where he was kind of experimenting with elements of Latin funk. Burton and Quesada officially teamed up in 2017 and released the first self-titled Black Pumas album in 2019, and it didn't take long for their timeless, smoky R&B and classic soul sound to grab the ears of many music fans. The album slowly gained traction after its release, with many late-night talk show appearances cementing their appeal to wider audiences. Ultimately, this led to a total of 3 Grammy nominations in 2020, which is a considerable feat considering they were completely unknown a little more than a year earlier. Black Pumas have that sort of broad appeal I talked about before when reviewing bands like the UK funk and soul outfit Jungle. They trade in a sound so warm and inviting that you could play them literally for anyone, anytime, anywhere, in any situation, and it will go down well. There's often not much edge to be found in their songwriting, but when it's performed and produced so well, it's kind of hard to argue with. It was almost comical how quickly the Pumas went from being this kind of underground cool band you might be recommended by a few of your friends in the know, to a few months later their music quietly finding its way into shopping centres, Starbucks and TV ads. When it happens that quickly, it forces you to reckon with the ridiculousness of criticising something just for its commercial appeal. You liked this a month ago, so why does it change now that it's been accepted by the masses? I say that because I honestly had that moment myself, like, wait, I thought this was cool, now it's on at the bank. But yeah, you dummy, because it's great. Whenever you feel yourself leaning towards musical snobbery, you've got to nip that shit in the bud. So now we've established that the group's success has no bearing on the quality of the music, we should talk about the unintended negative consequence for the band when your debut record blows up. The sophomore record pressure. How do you follow it up? Do you do more of the same, evolve the sound? There's an old adage in the music industry that a band has their whole lives to write their first record, and then they've got 6 months to write their second. Well, as it happens, Burton and Quesada certainly took more than 6 months, it now being coming out in 2023 and the debut arriving in 2019, but the theory still stands. To be honest, it felt like it had actually been longer than 4 years since the group's first record, but I think that perception may have come from how bright the band burned initially and then how dead silent they were in the subsequent years. Initially, Chronicles of a Diamond is set up to be a banger straight away. More Than a Love Song is masterfully produced, utterly majestic sounding as a soul track. The acoustic guitars are rich, there are slides, string swells, staccato strings, bongos, claps and dusty drums. To top it off, there are blasts of satisfyingly fuzzed out guitars pulling you into each section as well. To be fair, the album continues to deliver this luxuriously produced instrumentation track after track from this point on. However, it's after that first song, at least for the next few, after that opener, that the songwriting kind of drops off a bit of a cliff. Ice Cream, Payphone, Mrs. Postman and even Rock and Roll, the album's closer, have all of the magic ingredients that make this genre so endearing, but all 3 of these just feel like good vibe jams than they do real songs. After a strong opening, it really takes a minute for the album to find its feet again, in my opinion. The band's frontman and co-writer Eric Burton has an undeniably great voice, there's no doubt, but occasionally, especially on some of those songs I just mentioned, actually even on the opener, although it kind of works in that sense, occasionally he's just like boom, straight at a full 10 without much progression. This becomes really clear and even a little grating on the track Hello, where the falsetto and repetitive lyrics combine to become a bit of a turn-off. I said that it takes a while for the album to find its feet again, and find its feet it does. Sauvignon provides us with a Curtis Mayfield meets Stevie Wonder kind of vibe. It's got those Superstition clavs, but with the B3 organ and bongos to give it that classic Mayfield twist. Tomorrow is dark and brooding at a tempo that just drips cool. There's some nice wah guitar which plays off this really dark synth perfectly. On this track, Burton delivers some vocal runs that are a little imperfect, and it just brings so much character to this already rich track. Bringing this top tier 3 song run to a close, we also have Gemini Sun. This has a killer synth hook with a deep bass groove that absolutely knocks. It also includes some of my favourite Burton vocals on the whole album. This record is probably going to get a similar amount of play with the mainstream audiences as the first, which is great, but for me, some of the lack of great songwriting pulls the record down to about a 5, despite some really strong bright spots in there. Alright, that's enough from me. What did you think? You heard this yet? Will you? Let me know. If you do, come back, let me know. Subscribe, share some thoughts, show some love, or just howl some abuse in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers mate, bye.